just as good as Gordon and Mostert, who I'm not as high on, even though I kept them. Other than that, I think it was just sort of filling out depth, nothing exciting otherwise.
That's what happens when you finish the ninth round.
Sorry, I drooped.
No, it's on me. I will say, yeah, so guys you snagged in front of me, Robbie Anderson, Leonard Fournette, Will Fuller, and James Winston.
I'm anticipating you being a 3-quarterback keeper next year when Justin Fields eventually takes over at Chicago. If I were you, I would. A lot of your running backs are getting old. Maybe consider doing a trade.
I don't know if that'll happen.
Okay.
For those of you who aren't familiar with Andrew Parker's management strategy, trading it only occurs when rape is definitely an option.
No.
What? You destroyed. Yeah, Delane.
No.
He traded Max Williams for a second-round prospect pick.
Who?
Yeah, who is correct? Max Williams.
All right,
Who's
Thomas
that?
Clark draft.
What? You want me to walk you through it?
Yeah.
All right, fine. I'm gonna walk you through
Might be
it.
my
Hey,
least
Bryce.
favorite.
Oh, my least
Will you put
favorite.
us in the
When
fridge,
Cry Me a
please?
River.
Wait.
So,
Can I answer that?
Yeah.
basically, I went back to the well a lot
Thank
in this draft.
It's all hot.
I went with Rob Gronkowski. I had an option with that second pick between Marquise Brown and Jarvis Landry, and I chose to go with Marquise
Yeah,
to get that stack with Lamar.
that's good.
And then a bunch of tight ends went off the board, and I kind of was like, fuck.
Yeah.
And so I figured I had to get the best one left, and that was Blake Jarwin, and that's just to protect me
Jordan was solid.
against Rob Gronkowski being Rob Gronkowski, or O.J.
Yeah.
Howard somehow taking his job, which I don't expect, but you never know.
I don't understand how O.J. Howard hasn't broken out.
And then really, I
guess you
got
can't block.
kind of lucky because I had that trade with Cameron where I was able to get Damian Harris
What
back.
was that trade?
I traded for Dalvin Cook and got I got Damian Harris and a first-round pick in the free agent draft. It ended up being the 11th pick, and I got Damian Harris back. So really, I got Damian Harris twice in the draft.
I won't
in
judge
that pick
You
with
saw
him.
my first 2 picks.
Yeah, double Damian is how I'd like to go. And then,
Double
like
D?
I said, Andrew kept between Andrew and Bryce. They kept taking the players I wanted to take. In fact, kind of happened twice in a row. So like Jarvis Landry, Leonard Fournette, I definitely wanted both of those guys. They were both gone. O.J. Howard, I was going to take. That was gone. Yeah, they kind of screwed me a little bit. They were all over the place. I went ahead and got Jared Goff just to fuck with anybody who had not addressed the quarterback position at that
was
point.
good.
I think it's gonna be mostly trade bait. So if anyone needs a quarterback, call me. I
No,
got you.
I'm
Never
good.
gonna happen.
I got Trevor.
But to get Marvin Jones as late as I did, I thought
That
was
was
pretty
solid.
Yeah, that
cool.
was good.
That was solid.
And
Chris
then
Herndon, solid pick.
Devontae Booker could be the steal if Saquon Barkley misses time for any reason.
No, I think Chris Herndon's your
Um,
steal. That guy's such a tease.
Yeah, Chris Herndon, tease is a good answer. And I was real excited about the Rams defense. I thought they were the #1 defense on my board. So we'll see. I think that their offense is going to be good enough to keep the defense off the field for extended periods of time. So I
Very
think
hard division.
that it is going to be tough, but they got a pretty good
How's
schedule.
their special teams?
They shut down the Seahawks last year twice, so you never know. Sorry, Bryce. And then my sleeper fun pick, and also just because it's sexy and exciting, was Tyrell Williams. There are reports out of Detroit that he is the #1 wide receiver somehow, so we'll see how that pans out.
Interesting.
But
God bless DeAndre.
so I guess at this point, I'd kind of like to go back. Who do you guys? We'll go around. We'll let you pick. Who
Well,
you thought
I want to make a quick comment.
Oh yeah, sorry. I mean, y'all need to
Yeah.
comment. I just went through mine. Talk about me. Talk bad about me.
So
Let's go.
I look at your draft and I'm a little disappointed you didn't take many more chances than you did. You played it extremely safe.
Yeah.
You kind of went chalk the whole way down. You didn't kind of swing for the fence or take any high risk, high reward players. Which, as a team as solid as you, I would like to have seen 1 or 2 picks that were.
Reaches.
Yeah, you have the
Reach.
luxury. of
We're
Like,
talking
I
about
don't know.
we're talking about Mecole Hardman and Marquise Brown are not swing for the fences
No.
type guys.
No, a swing for the fences type guy is like Amari
No,
Rodgers.
Hollywood Brown was a very good pick.
Hollywood Brown is an arguably number 1 on that team, and Miko Hardman's number 2 on the
Yeah,
best
that's
So
team.
not a
they're
chance.
safe
That's a
picks.
good-
They're
it's
not
just a good
swinging
pick.
for the
they're
fences
boomer bust
risk.
guys because they're deep ballers.
But you didn't go high risk, high reward.
Like, who would you have taken different?
We're
Jarvis
just saying-
Landry?
We're just saying none of your guys were high risk, high reward.
Well,
That's
I
how
think-
you win
I think
championships.
some electric rookies, maybe Elijah Moore.
Who plays for the
Yeah,
fucking Jets?
But he got picked a lot earlier than I anticipated.
You could have taken Curtis Samuel over Gronk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Gronk pick 2 years in a row,
Yeah, that was.
I don't love. Obviously,
Yeah.
it worked out last year. He did nothing for the first half of the year, turned it on, so it worked out great. You won a championship.
I mean, if
You
you
did
were
it again this year, and sure, it could easily work out fine, but there's absolutely zero chance anybody you drafted today is going to be a keeper for you next year.
Yeah, and Rob, I mean, if you remove Rob Gronkowski, any of those guys, like, maybe after or before, I mean, you could have. Rob Gronkowski is a non-factor at this point. You're fine with Blake Jarwin. We have Darren Waller. Blake Jarwin's a fine number 2. You don't have to take Rob
Why'd you pick
Gronkowski.
I do agree though that his first round swap with Cameron Damian Harris was a very good pick.
Yeah.
Very
Damian Harris is
agreed.
the one pick I like.
I was
a
really
lot up
bummed
there.
I did
Now,
not
would
get to
you-
get
now-
Damian
I like
Harris.
the I love the
all
Marvin
have-
Jones. pick.
Now, if I'd gone Evan Ingram instead of Damian Harris, would you say my draft was worse or better? Because I probably would have
Worse.
taken
Worse, because I wanted Damian Harris.
Now, because I was hoping to either go Damian Harris, Robbie Anderson, or Damian Harris, Evan Ingram was my goal, but I knew that wasn't going to happen.
So I wanted Damian Harris. He was clearly the better pick.
Yeah.
I took Evan Ingram because you took Damian Harris.
So, are you guys done yelling at me?
No, I was just saying I like the Marvin Jones pick a lot.
Thank you. I like that pick too.
I was hoping to get him, but I ended up.
I couldn't believe he was still there. Y'all
Yeah.
were just kept picking fucking defensive players. I'm like, guys, come on. I usually just randomly throw a guy out there based on matchups. I can't believe y'all.
No.
Loving the cheap deep stack with Jared Goff and Tyrell Williams.
It always serves me well to start the season.
Deep stack.
Deep cheap stack.
The deep cheap stack.
Yeah.
That's what's coming out of the hot tub right here. That was real. That was good. All right, so let's go through. I want to go through each of y'all, and we'll kind of just chat about it real quick. Best draft, favorite pick, worst draft, and the pick you thought was the absolute worst. We're gonna start with Brett, and we'll go around, and then I'll finish. So, Brett, are you ready, or do we
I'm
need to
gonna
go
pick
somewhere
based
else?
on expectations.
Who's your favorite
Taking
best
into
best
context
draft?
the expectations. Alexa had the best draft.
I agree with that. Or
Most
I don't have to
improved
agree with
draft.
that. It's your choice. Best draft was Alexa. Best pick. It could be
Bastard,
anybody.
You had to take Damian Harris. You bastard.
You give it to me? That's sweet of you.
Honestly, I'm more macro level. I can't think of an individual best pick. So Damian Harris sticks in my mind because he was my pick.
Let's go. Worst draft.
I hate to say it because it's not fair.
And you want to stick with the ladies? I see you.
I hate to say it because it's not fair, but it's understandable.
Yeah.
Bronwyn had the same draft that I had 2 years ago. It's the worst draft because she didn't understand the context of the league, in my opinion.
All right.
I think she had a good draft, but I think everyone else has learned to draft very well. And Carlos had it easy because he had a ridiculous team.
He's also in a dynasty league, so he understands the concept pretty well.
So, Bronwyn had the worst draft. It doesn't mean she had a bad draft, but in the context of this league, it was the worst draft of this group. That's my opinion. But I
Yeah.
still think she drafted well. From a generic fantasy football perspective, she drafted phenomenally. From the context of this league, it was the weakest of these 10.
Yeah.
Worst pick.
Weakest, not really worst.
Worst-
Tyler Higbee, that high.
She hates Tyler Higbee.
Yeah, man. He
Gives
was a
Alexa
bust
best
for
draft.
me.
Hates Tyler Higbee.
He was a bust for me, man.
Unbelievable. All right, Renee.
What do we do? Best
draft.
Best draft.
It's a 1 in 10 choice.
Ooh, best draft. I like Carlos's draft. Gotta give it to my brother. I like his draft.
Wow, homer pick. All right, best pick.
Best pick, Trey Lance.
He likes it. Yeah, I like.
That is a franchise-changing draft.
Nice
I
pick.
believe. Worst pick.
Worst draft.
No, worst draft. Worst draft. I mean, I'm gotta concur with Brett here. I know it's not fair because she's new and she's learning, but I think she can only get better from here. It's not terrible, but I think doubling up on certain IDP positions is kind of not a very wise thing to do. But besides that, it's not. If we have to pick a worst one, I'd say Bronwyn, but it's not a terrible one.
All right, and worst pick.
Worst pick, probably the doubling up on the defense for me.
But
Let's pick
did you
myself.
enjoy it because you
I love
got
it.
you got to throw Josh and Bryce off?
Sure, yeah. I mean, I
Yeah.
know they love the Washington football team, and know they're big fans of that,
Is it
and I
cute
got
that
it.
he
So
calls
they can't
them
take
not
it.
the Redskins?
Josh.
Yes.
Josh, best draft.
Best draft, I'd give a tie to Brett and Carlos.
Woo!
You
I
had
did not.
For very different
I did a
reasons.
whopping
wait,
1 hour
wait.
studying, y'all.
Brett, it's his turn to speak. Let him in. Let him talk. We're very different reasons.
Well,
here,
Brett,
so.
I just look at her first 4 picks.
1
I
hour.
think she knocked them out. I think she got the best available, arguably, at each spot. She'll be able to compete this year with those guys. Carlos, like I said, just took best available. From a dynasty perspective, he took a lot of high risk people.
Like good long-term
Best
people.
pick, I know Renee just said it, Trey Lance. I was really worried what he was going to do at number 1,
Yeah,
like
a lot of
wasting
pressure.
on Henderson or something dumb.
I was hoping so, man.
I think Trey Lance is the highest ceiling of any guy you could have taken.
Exactly.
And he's got Kyle Shanahan coaching him, man. He made the Falcons good.
Worst draft is the opposite of what I just said about Carlos. I'd go with Thomas. It was fine, but I would have liked to have seen him take more swings.
I appreciate you picking someone other than Bronwyn.
He was fine. It's a fine draft. He's going to be top. He's going to be top
All right,
this year, but I don't
worst
see
pick.
any picks there that could be a keeper next year.
Worst pick.
Worst pick. The chalk is to go Bronwyn's IDP picks. If I don't go with that, I don't know.
You can't. So
I
all
can't
of
come
them,
up with
or
anything.
I mean, did one
I
stick
mean,
out?
Devin White at 11, horrible.
Yeah.
Luda Baker, 13, terrible. Eric Ebron at 12, terrible. Maybe that's the worst one. I don't know.
Yeah, that was pretty egregious.
I think Devin
What's
White
wrong
was
with Eric
acceptable.
Ebron?
Luda
He's
Baker
the
was
starter
bad.
there.
Gerald
he's-
Everett,
he's
Jared
worse
Cook,
than
Blake
the next
Jarwin,
10
Austin
tight ends that
Hooper,
were
Hunter
taken.
Henry, Cole Kmet, all those guys way better than him.
Yeah, but not all of them. Oh yeah, they were.
No,
shit.
all those guys were better picks.
Oh wow. Okay,
Yeah.
never mind. Let's move on. Leave her
Bird
alone.
Daddy, dude.
Leave her alone.
Okay.
Parker. Best draft.
I'll go best draft. I'll go with Brett. I like the all the picks all the way up to the Tampa Bay defense. It could be like Russell Gage, and I think.
So
Rodgers
at that
and
point,
White.
my attention span went her plunk.
You could tell when she lost interest.
I think it's gonna be all can contribute to the, you know. to
I said, oh, my
contribute points
roster's
to the
full. I'm
roster.
good.
I'll go best pick. This is a douche move, but I was really high on Robbie Anderson. So I'm gonna pick myself as the best pick of Robbie Anderson.
I mean, I'll back him up because he told me beforehand that was his number 1 overall. So to get him at
Where
20?
did Robbie Anderson go to
That's
college?
or 21,
Temple. He played
that's
for Matt Rule.
great value.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, so I like.
Respect?
So I like what I did, and then worst draft mainly because lack of running backs. Bronwyn, but I know Bryce didn't have many running backs, but I like his other picks. So
Bronwyn's
that's how
got
I'll go Bronwyn, and then I just IDP that early.
It should be
Huge fan of
emphasized though,
Devin White.
Bronwyn does have Trey Sermon as a prospect.
True.
Worst pick.
Yeah, Devin White. I don't like an IDP
Yeah.
person that early.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Alright,
Chalk.
actually,
You live and learn though.
based on this, because I don't
know.
know, what is the acceptable first round to do an IDP player from your
I would say 17 or
The
18 or
21st.
lower.
Yeah. I mean, I
You
don't
should
draft-
not be picking any IDP players before round 16 or 17. Easy. I mean, there's just no
Alright.
need.
So
You can
there
get
it
them
is.
anytime you want. And
There it
there's
is on the record.
no
Now
one's
look at
picking 2.
Replacement value.
Well,
I
I mean,
legitimately
no
only
other
predicted
position-
until
2
someone else
points
did it.
above
well, yeah, and
replacement
no other
maybe
position are you going to be.
10
You're picking
secured
10
points.
players most likely because you're not going to keep one on your bench. So no other position are you going to have a shot at the top 10 guy that late. So it's like you just wait. And
So I think that's good to put on
I
the
should
record.
have done more, and this is on me as a commissioner. I should have done more to prepare her for this draft. I
I'll be
fucked
honest.
up, and then
I
it
did not.
shows.
I still, after 2 years in the league, did not know that.
Yeah.
My strategy with
I was
defenses
hoping-
and special teams and IDPs has always been to wait till someone else
Hon-
does it, and then I'll do it.
Honestly, I was
As
hoping,
you
I was
clearly
putting a
see.
lot of stock into seeing her this weekend and like having a lot of time to yesterday,
You'll
today,
check her for
to,
that.
Yeah,
to
we've
talk to
been
her.
through
And
this. Okay,
so
Bryce.
I fucked up. Best draft.
It's Alexa.
Mr. America.
It's Alexa, and it's not even close.
Dude, Alexa knocked it out of the park, man.
It's the best draft.
Matt,
It's the best
Michael.
draft she's ever done.
Carter, man.
That's what I think
I
it
was
is, though,
so
the best
bummed
draft
about
she's ever
Carter.
done.
I agree.
But I think it's also the best. I mean, her,
I agree. I think it's
her
number two,
team
but-
with the keepers at the top.
I think
some of those are not bad.
She's got like
but
7 picks up there. That
I think she,
keepers
I
next
think
year
she
for.
did great. I think she had some misses, but that's okay.
I think
Alright,
Higby was a
best,
miss.
best
Carter,
pick. Best
Everett.
pick.
I think Higby was a miss. I think everything else is a hit.
Pick was.
Oh, that's my phone. Sorry.
I actually really like Curtis Samuel in that pick.
Thank you.
Yeah, Homer pick.
So-
Worst draft.
Full disclosure, I had help on that one.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, you really didn't because you took the other guy in the next one.
Yeah, I did.
So what difference does it make?
I
It's
think.
true.
I think the worst draft is actually Cameron.
Wow.
I think he gets Trey Lance, who's hit or miss, potential to explode, and he gets Kyle Pitts, great. But after LaVisca Chanel, possibly as wide receiver 1 for Trevor Lawrence, how many of those other guys
Yeah,
are even like
I agree a
spitting
lot with
distance
that.
of keep?
I mean,
Yeah.
speaking of someone who adores Mike Williams personally, he's never going to be consistently healthy.
What did you go with? I'm sorry, I was on the phone.
Cameron.
Cameron's
Worst draft.
worst draft.
You know, I
Hot
was.
take.
I
That's a
hate to
hot
say
take.
it, you fucking stole it from me, but whatever. That's cool. So worst pick, I believe at this point.
Carson Wentz, not because I don't believe that Josh
Shots fired.
can stash him and he can come out later and participate. I think he could have gotten him way later than that.
I kind of agree with that.
Nobody's going to take a hurt
I
quarterback
can't believe
that
that.
high.
What took JT Daniels?
So
I mean, you could have held out and got him for
Yeah.
sure.
So, I guess we're on me now. Best draft.
Turn the spotlight to me.
Yeah, turn the spotlight at me because that's where I belong.
Turn the camera to
Best
you.
draft. I'm
Hey,
not
turn
like.
the camera to you.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh.
talking to the camera.
It's about damn time I got on this camera.
There you go.
So,
Tighten up, y'all.
Let the people see what they want.
Tighten
Nope.
up. Tighten up.
Best draft. It goes without saying. I'm so proud of her.
Alexa.
Alexa, best draft by far. Baker Mayfield.
Stud.
She gets a quarterback. That's the exact pick. I mean, outside of me picking Zach